What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy. Can't you tell me YouTube shit? Hey man, say man, we are lit, Lit 13, man. Turn. Today, two motherfucking day straight hood and outside, big crip out here, man. Hey man, say man, we are lit. Hey man, say man, you know how I've been talking about September the 1st, don't go to work. They feeling the pressure, man. I don't know if it's a lot of people who've been taking off days, but you know the people, you know, I've been putting that work in. People you don't ever see. It's coming in that you never supposed to, like, you never see. You know what I'm saying? And it was chill though, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, these motherfuckers, man, you know what I'm saying? They feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But hey man, come to the Black Keeper Israelite, man. Make sure like subscribe this bitch up and we end this bitch. Alright, boom. Today, two motherfucking day, straight hood and outside crib, man. We've been talking about The Blind Side. You know, this was a football movie. I think I went to the movies to see it when I was younger and shit. You know what I'm saying? My sister, we went with my sister and them. We went to go see the Blind Side when it first came out. And so, you know, it was about a kid who had nowhere to stay, ended up getting adopted and becoming a famous football player. You know what I'm saying? And the shit is crazy, man. You feel me? But it's turned to find out, man, that the people who helped create the movie was lying the whole time. And you know, the motherfucker, he called it out. The football player. You know what I'm saying? You know, the people who made the movie made a shit ton of money. You know what I'm saying? And they talking about they helped him become the player he was. And it turns to find out he was already doing everything before they even helped him. You know what I'm saying? He stayed with them for 3 years, which is pretty, you know what I'm saying? That's a little bit long time. But in 3 years, nigga, you know, already done, before that, he was already All-American Pro and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they end up, I guess, finessing his signature, man. And they made buku amount of money off this nigga. And they got to take all the credit. You know what I'm saying? And he's calling them out, man. So I got the video of what's going on. And I got him responding to the people. Just tell him that, hey, y'all tripping. He already did what he had to do. They didn't have nothing to do with really what he had to do. So I'm gonna put the videos in now. I hope y'all like to enjoy these videos. And yeah, let's get into them.
NFL offensive lineman, y'all know that the movie The Blind Side was supposedly about his life story. Well, apparently Michael Oher speaking out, and he is taking his adoptive quote-unquote parents to court because they were scamming him. They had him sign a document years ago where they had control over his likeness. Now, that's very dirty. It's very dirty. You know, this isn't anything new as far as like athletes going to live with, you know, their coaches or a family who may be a fan of their high school team. You got a high school player that's struggling as far as his economic situation, so they'll go stay with you know, a family, right? And that's what Michael Oher did. Well, Michael Oher is saying that he was never adopted. He was never adopted. They were never his adoptive parents. But for some reason, they were taking all this credit for his success. And what was interesting is that I think once he was out of the league, I think that whole situation disintegrated, because as you can see, These are just one of the photos that he took with them while he was playing in the NFL. But when I looked at the fact that he got married, I didn't see him take a picture with these same people at his wedding. I didn't see that. I think that once he was retired and he looked over things, he realized that he had been played as a fool. This woman got credit for what he did, even though she did nothing except for allow him to stay with their family. Now, maybe she thinks that she was owed more, her and her husband, but this is a sad situation. And I just want to say this. They did a behind the scenes on this family years ago, and something about them just was very off to me. Like, why are you basking in the fame and notoriety of somebody else who put the work in to get there? They don't even give black single mothers that much shine, right? But because the movie The Blind Side fit a narrative, big dumb football player that needs white woman to save him, right? Now I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying that, you know, Sandra Bullock shouldn't be blamed. Well, she played the lead actress in the movie, so she's gonna catch strays whether y'all like it or not. Michael Oher never liked the movie, and it never really set well with me how this family basked in his success. It just didn't sit well with me. Something was off about that. And now we know that they were stealing from Michael Oher. They scammed him into signing paperwork to have control over his likeness. That's very dirty to do. But they saw that he was going to be they saw he was going to make it to the NFL. And they took advantage of him. Now, you would hope that he would have saw through this sooner, but you got to understand, he was playing in the league. He's playing in the league, he's playing in the NFL. His attention wasn't towards that, right? Or maybe it was, but I think once he was retired, maybe their true feelings came out. So let's get into this article. This is why you can't trust everybody, right? This is according to ESPN. This is a story that was broken by ESPN. You don't really see that much nowadays with ESPN breaking stories. But this is an article written by Michael Fletcher at ESPN. Retired NFL star Michael Oher, who supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by a wealthy white family was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blind Side, petitioned a Tennessee court Monday with allegations that the central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. The 14-page petition filed in Shelby County, Tennessee probate court alleges that Sean and Leigh Ann Tuohy, who took Oher into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Oher turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals on his name. If that is true, that is some sick some sick shit. That is disgusting. That is devious. But I wouldn't put it past these people. I mean, just because people are white does not mean they're good. There's a lot of dirty, disgusting, lying white people out here. Okay, this is why I'm not one of those people to say, white people are better or nicer. None of that. I treat people as individuals, and I treat them on an individual basis because I know that there are horrible people in any and everywhere. Okay. The petition further alleges that the Tuohys used their power as conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their 2 birth children millions of dollars in royalties from an Oscar-winning film that earned more than $300 million, while Oher got nothing for the story. That is sad, man. He should have been the first one, but see, that's the thing. Michael Oher trusted them. But you got to have a business mindset. That's why young men, especially young black men, have to have a business mindset, or you will get taken advantage of, especially when you are the centerpiece of it. You got to have a business mindset. More young men need to be more business savvy. That's why the NIL is making more of these young men more business savvy going into college. You know, that would not have existed without him. In the years since, the Tuohys have continued calling the 37-year-old Oher their adopted son and have used that assertion to promote their foundation, as well as Leanne's work as an author and motivational speaker. The lie of Michael's adoption is one upon which co-conservators Leanne Tuohy and Sean Tuohy have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward, the unsigned Michael Oher. The undersigned Michael Oher. The legal filing says Michael Oher discovered the lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023. So he didn't even know that they had been making money off of him until February of 2023. When he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Tuohy family, in fact, provided him no familial relationship with the Tuohys. The Tuohy family did not immediately return. Of course. Oh, oh man. Yo, when I tell you this guy got scammed, this is horrible. And they were going to games. They were smiling with him. Now, let me tell you this. Now, maybe because they thought that, oh, he's in the NFL. He's making millions of dollars. So he's not going to care that we're making money. That is still disgusting. This lets you know Michael had no real other people around him. This is how deep he was as far as his family is concerned. I would have hoped that he would have had relatives and family members that would have been telling him, listen, how much are you making off the film? You know? Are you getting royalties? I'm sure somebody had to ask him that question. Or maybe he asked them and they lied to him. But that would have been very easy to find out. All he had to do was get a lawyer, look at the paperwork, look at, the royalties. He could have found that out years ago. That's why this whole thing is sad. This thing went on for years. This woman doing motivational speaking. Oher's petition asked the court to end the Tuohy's conservatorship and to issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness. It also seeks full accounting of the money that the Tuohys earned using Oher's name and to have the couple pay him his fair share of profits, as well as unspecified compensatory and punitive damage. I don't know how they're going to be able to, because once they open up the books and find out that these people have been making money off him, they're going to be in deep trouble. Since at least August of 2004, conservators have allowed Michael specifically and the public generally to believe that the conservators adopted Michael and have used that untruth to gain financial advantages for themselves and foundations which they own or which they exercise control of. The petition says all monies made in said manner should in all conscience and equity be disgorged and paid over to said ward Michael Oher.
Pick. Michael joins us here in studio. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
My pleasure. First, football question. You played under Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
And now Hugh is back at the SEC. You played for him under Ole Miss. Now he's back at Auburn.
Yep.
Hugh has had some ups and downs in his career as well, but in this book, you talk about how much you appreciate him, that you're still friends to this day. So tell me about your relationship with Hugh and how you think he'll do at Auburn.
I think personally he'll do fantastic. We could date all the way back to high school, and he was my high school football coach. And he was one of the first mentors I saw do it the right way, football-wise, off the field, fundamentals, technique. I learned from him that the coach is way more important than the player, because I saw a bunch of guys who didn't quite have the talent beat a lot of guys who had tons of talent. And that's where, fundamentals and technique became a big emphasis in, how I approach the game of football. But at Auburn, he FaceTimes me all the time when he has a big-time recruit in and, lets me talk to the big-time recruits. But I think he's a genius offensively, and I think he'll do fantastic right away.
You played with some of the greats, and you were on that Super Bowl team that ended Ray Lewis's storied and famed career. You won the Super Bowl with the Ravens in 2012. What was the fire from Ray like? We saw what it was on screen. What was it like behind the scenes?
I still get chills watching his videos today. Behind the scenes, you come in. I came in, I think he was in year 12 or something. So he was fairly into his career. So, we looked up to Ray Lewis, Avery, guys like that, like they were Marvel characters. So to have him be able to go out on the field pregame and just get us pumped up, man. He could just look at us. We'll get fired up, man. So, no, it was tremendous. My locker was right next to him. We used to hang out and, to be around guys like that. If he hadn't said he was going to retire a few weeks before the playoffs started, I don't think we would have won the Super Bowl.
Really?
Because for me, everybody locked in. You think guys like that are going to play forever. When he talked to the team, I told him, man, I thought you was going to retire with me. So we couldn't believe it. I think everybody developed a sense of purpose, a sense of urgency, and, headed toward one goal. And for him to retire on top, it meant a lot.
One theme from this book and some of the other interviews you've done is that what you see is not always the truth, and that there's a lot of narratives out there that may not be even attached to truth. And you mentioned Cam Newton in this. You were a teammate of his in Carolina. You guys went to the 2015 Super Bowl, lost to the Denver Broncos, but you said your interactions with him, very different than how the public perceived him. They thought he was a different guy. What was the guy that you knew?
Well, I think we relate because I feel that I'm misunderstood. I feel Cam he's misunderstood. You have to get to know someone personally, and you can't just go off a picture or a video or a small clip. Cam is one of the most genuine, fun-loving guys I've ever been around. Jeez, we spent a ton of time together, week in and week out, off days, and when your character is everything. That's what you work for, and when someone doesn't appreciate who you are as a person, I think that carries more weight than anything. But me personally, you have to get to know people, but Cam he's still a fantastic guy. I talk to him every now and then, and you definitely have to get to know people.
Michael Oher joins us here in studio, author of the new book, When Your Back's Against the Wall. He wrote, I Beat the Odds, and you just said you feel like you've been mislabeled sometimes, misunderstood. And I think, at least from what I've read in the book, a lot of that stems from how you were portrayed in the movie The Blind Side, and that people might have the wrong idea of your personality, number one, that you were this kind of shy wallflower, that you were timid and you had to be kind of like drawn out of your shell, when in reality, you were a workaholic, you were hyper-organized, and you were like, damn it, I'm making something of myself no matter what it takes after a rough background. Is that the big one that you feel you were mislabeled as?
I think it took away the hard work and the dedication that I created from a child, and going to school in the third grade, getting myself up, first one in the locker room, last one out. And I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed, not being able to read or write. Second grade, I was doing plays in front of the school. And I think that's one of when you go into a locker room and your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy. on someone. You know, and you have to understand. I understand that the movie has given me a position. I'm honored to have the position it's given me, but you know, you have to understand. Before I moved in with the family, I was an All-American. That's what I want the generations behind me to see in this book right here, to understand that you don't have to have someone save you and rescue you to go out and be successful. You got every tool in you. And this book right here is a playbook on life. You know, looking yourself in the mirror when I was 11, 12-year-old kid, telling myself, hey, everyone around you is in an even worse situation that you're in. So you're going to have to get up and do this thing yourself, and developing a routine right then when I could have given up at 11, 12-year-old, as an 11 and 12-year-old kid. So that's what I'm trying to paint the message in this book right here. And looking through everything that I went through and finding the positive in it.
And it wasn't that you don't have gratitude to the family that took you in. That's really
very
not the
grateful.
message.
Very grateful for every family that helped me throughout this journey. It's a lot of people that deserve a lot of credit. For me, I want to show the young people and everyone behind me that, hey, you deserve some credit for your hard work. You can get it done, and that's really the goal.
So for those that don't know, you grew up in a really difficult situation. No one in your family had aspired to really have a career. Many didn't want a job. The people that you were around didn't have anything to do most days. Poverty, homelessness, the projects in Memphis. You were just surrounded by a culture of there's really nothing to life. There's no way out. But you somehow figured out that you needed to see something else. I think you described it as like standing in front of an ocean when you walked to the edge of the projects, that there was a whole something out there that you had no idea about. How'd you gain a perspective in a cycle that usually doesn't allow that?
I think I was blessed with being on the streets from the time I was 3 years old, in and out of foster care from 3 to 10, on the streets for a year.
You were blessed.
Yes, on the streets for a year after running away from foster home at 10 years old, and being placed in a mental hospital, and running away from there a few weeks later. And the state just gave up on me, gave back custody. And the struggles that I had early on, being in and out of homes, on the streets, I needed a routine. That's when I developed a routine, 11, 12 years old, going to school on my own in the 3rd grade. And from there on... and
your family, not to interject, but a lot of crack addiction amongst your family and your parents. You didn't know your dad.
That was the norm. That was the norm at the time. That's the way we grew up. But you grow up so fast, like I said, you understand what's right and what's wrong. So from that point on, when I started going to school on my own, I was going to do the right thing because I knew what the wrong thing was, and I didn't want to be that. And I saw what it did to my family, and I saw the situation that we was in. So, you know, I was going to put it in my mind and imagine a future and go chase that was better than what I was around. So I think that was the most important thing, was having those struggles early on and being so tired as a 11-year-old kid and forcing myself to, just go to school every day and just be away from that environment and picture myself somewhere else. So I think routine, discipline, and being consistent is the key to everything. Without a routine, man, everyone I know who doesn't have a routine, their life's in shambles. So that's everything to me. I think the struggles, it blessed me and it helped me get off the streets a lot earlier than some others would.
Michael Oher joins us in studio. You had such an interesting observation here in the book, and that was that you can read in people's eyes, especially young people that have been through foster care, what internally they're thinking or their reaction to you. And you said you developed that when you were young because you read body language, because it means survival when you're young and on the street.
For sure.
How'd that happen?
Well, it's just that, knowing body language, knowing that you're on couch to couch and someone else when you're in that situation, the next person can't feed themselves, so some extra mouth can't be around, can't stay too long. So, the first couple of days, it's just like when you see somebody, your new friend, you're happy to see him. Hey, what's going on, man? Blah, blah, blah. And then after a day or so, it becomes, hey, what's up? So that's my curious time to go, because I've worn out my welcome. So I know body language. I try to continue to be positive. Whenever I see you, I try to be the same, personality-wise, same energy. And it gets mentally, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, because you continue. You have to, you have to be at war. You have to be on cue at all times, because you don't know, when someone's going to tell you your time's up.
You talk about food insecurity in this book as well, not knowing if you're going to open up the fridge and anything's going to be in there. How devastating is that to young people that deal with this because they can't afford to go out and buy their own food? And you talk about, you walk through grocery stores and convenience stores and wondered, is today the day I starve, or is today the day I steal food?
No, I was never going to starve. I was always too competitive. I'm going in the store. I'm going to get what I need. I'm getting out of there. So that's not going to happen. Trust me on that one. But it leads to bigger things as you grow older. Those are just petty crimes. Me stealing as a kid, surviving and putting food in the refrigerator. That's just something I had to do. But what it leads to poor academics in the classroom, behavior problems, and then a few years later, those crimes become armed robberies and a lot more dangerous crimes. So, that's what hunger does. It's a bigger problem than just trying to survive as a kid.
What food does a 10-year-old kid swipe to make it through the day?
Hey, I was a nice-sized kid, so, man, I didn't go swipe chips and candy bars, man. I went and stole chicken and pizzas. I got the big stuff, man. I'm not going to get a candy bar at the store, man. Let's be real here. I'm trying to eat for a couple of days. But hey, that's what it was all about, surviving though. So anything that I could get, I was trying to get it.
I'm thinking about Michael Oher, like supermarket sweep, pushing a bunch of candied hams through the exit door. Hey, see you guys tomorrow.
I put a ham in a coat.
You did?
I will. Thanksgiving's coming up, man. We got to eat. Come on, man. We starving out here.
Man.
Thank you.
All right, back. So yeah, for the video, man, they lied to that nigga, bruh. They made this nigga sign a signature when he was only 18 to get all the likeness of him to create the movie and to show everything that they did, that they helped them out when they really didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about these white people, man. Y'all be thinking these motherfuckers be wanting to help you out for the best. No, they don't. They want to get anything and everything out of the situation, you know what I'm saying? And if they could have took all his money, they probably would have. You know what I'm saying? They want all the credit. Bitch, you didn't do nothing. All you did was give this nigga something to eat. Burley. You know what I'm saying? He was struggling already. He was on the streets doing what he had to do to survive, you know what I'm saying? And he was already dominant. He just, as he was saying in the video, he was growing up as a kid in the foster care. And, they didn't really have nobody to really take care of him. And these white people, they just came along and tried to help him. And obviously now we see that it was a big money grab. All the reason they helped him out was to get the money on. Like, they probably made millions off this nigga because The Blind Side was a crazy-ass movie, you know what I'm saying? They made so much money off that nigga, bruh. You know what I'm saying? They made so much money off of him with that movie, because it was a big movie when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? About the football player who had nothing, came up, become the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? And to find out, you know, I've been knowing it, but I didn't know he was still alive. But you know, cause sometimes you know they people when they make a true story after people, you know, you never hear nothing about them. He came back out. Like he could have went away and never said nothing again. He don't want a Super Bowl. He got a book out. He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. He played with the Carolina Panthers. He did. Like he was already killing it. You know what I'm saying? When he got into the NFL, that's the definition of putting that work in, man. People might take your credit, bruh, and they might say the only reason you did it is because of them. No damn way. Because if it wasn't for himself and Yahweh, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people wouldn't even be, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't even be knowing. He probably wouldn't even be in the NFL because if he gave up, you know what I'm saying? And you can't give nobody credit to somebody else, especially the white people. What the fuck they gave him a nice little spot, nigga. Ooh, they was already making money too. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, if you see from the motherfucking from the videos, he was saying that they were trying to say that he couldn't read, he couldn't write, and that's the thing they do, man. They try to make us look retarded, and these white people just come in and do what they do, bruh. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all lucky y'all got a head start with all this goddamn money on it already. You did, and that's basically what it is, bruh. It's a whole scheme to make more money off the name and backs of black people. You know what I'm saying? He put this hard work in. He never gave up. He continued to hustle, and all his credit went to some white people. You know what I'm saying? That really didn't do nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he calling these motherfuckers out, bruh, because you can't let these niggas take your credit. You know what I'm saying? You put the work in. They didn't do nothing. All they did was give you a nice little spot and something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Hard work, dedication is the only thing that helped him get into the NFL, bro. And that's the facts. If he didn't have that hard work, dedication, yeah. And you think about it, if he was already All-American Pro, that's the main reason they probably gave that nigga a chance. Y'all be thinking that these white people be giving people chances out of the kindness of their heart. Nigga, they already said he was gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? They basically betted on this nigga and took his contract and his name and his likeness. See, that's what white people do, man. All these contracts, taking people patents, you know how they be patenting shit, taking niggas' ideals and putting that shit over it and shit, copyright and shit like that. That's the main thing that these white people be doing. They get the legal shit. You know what I'm saying? Because in real life, you know, you get the hands on these motherfuckers. That's old for them. You know what I'm saying? But they done created another way to keep the black man down. And that's through the legal system. And through patent and contracts and shit. You know what I'm saying? They find ways to continue to take from us legally. You know what I'm saying? And he put the work in, you know what I'm saying? And he don't even get to say, he didn't know say so in the movie. He didn't even know he was making money. He didn't even know they was making money off the movie. I mean, it's just kind of crazy because, you know, that was a big ass fucking movie. I mean, I would have thought they were making money. The fuck, nigga? He didn't know they was making money off that nigga to 2023. Damn, nigga, you like 8 years, 9 years, nigga, they done made a bank off your head. Nigga, they done made banks. And he got a lawsuit going to him now. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, you don't want nobody you know what I'm saying, he put all the hard work in, and he finna go for the bank. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he win, cause you know he gonna get some good ass lawyers, bruh. Shout out to the player who played Blindside, you know what I'm saying? We know you put that hard work in, man, and they love to take people credit, man, for what you do. You know what I'm saying? It be like that. And make more money off of you than what they could do by themselves. So at the end of the day, man, tell me how y'all feel about it, man. Do y'all think he gonna win that lawsuit, man? How y'all feel about it, man? Tell me, let me know in the comments, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to this bitch, and we out this bitch. Hood, Northside, Crook.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. Even though this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.